Knee replacement surgeries are 20 times more common in obese people than non-overweight. I can feel increased pressure on my joints, and I know you can too. In this same article by the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, they talk about the number that represents how much pressure you put on your knees. And for every extra pound of body weight, that's another 4 to 6 pounds of pressure on each knee. Let's look at a woman who's 5'5". She's going to be at maximum 150 pounds to be within the BMI range that's non-overweight. To the same 5'5" woman who's obese. She's going to be a minimum of 185 pounds. That's a difference of 35 pounds, which is 140 to 210 pounds of extra pressure on her knees. Increased pressure on joints is one of the major reasons you should avoid certain kinds of exercises. First set of exercises to avoid are any exercise where you use your body weight and only one leg or knee, such as lunges, split squats, or even Stairmasters. These exercises put all of the pressure on one knee joint at a time, one leg, and that's just too risky. And you realize this if you just imagine a slim beginner person at the gym and then you'd add weights over their shoulders, the same amount as an obese person carries around, and just say start doing this exercise. That's insane. We don't do that. And so why would you have an obese person start doing these exercises? Because they are carrying all of that extra weight over their shoulders and on their body. The next set of exercises to avoid are sit-up or crunches, bridge exercises, and leg raises. And while these exercises aren't bad in and of themselves, they are all performed on the floor. And as an obese person, getting down and up off the floor is not just tough, which it is, it's also really disheartening because the act of getting up off the floor is often harder than the exercise itself. So let's avoid these to start with so you don't get disheartened, because we want to keep exercising and getting more fit. The next set of exercises we're going to avoid are exercises, again, where we use our entire body weight and they're too hard, such as push-ups or pull-ups. Again, we can imagine a slimmer beginner person who's starting out training and adding all of the weight that an obese person is carrying around on their back while they're doing a push-up. You would never do that to any beginner. Maybe not even someone who's trained for years. So why would we have an obese person like ourselves? Why would we do that? No, just not. So don't do exercises that are too hard. Lastly, we're going to avoid any exercise with jumps, such as jumping jacks or just running. We do not want to be airborne. And that's because it adds even more pressure to our joints, our ankles. And if you're even a little bit off, all of that extra pressure is really going to risk injury. Now we know what to avoid. What do we actually want to exercise as obese people? Well, I really love compound exercises. Compound exercises train multiple muscles at the same time, and they mimic real-life movements, such as getting out your groceries out of the cart. The opposite of compound exercises are called isolation exercises, such as the bicep curl, where you only train one muscle, the bicep. And you can definitely do isolation exercises. However, I find it easier and faster to do a full body workout with compound exercises, and I enjoy the real life emulation that it does. Not only do you then train one muscle group like with the isolation exercises, but compound exercises also stabilizes you because you train all of the muscles around the big ones. You become more balanced and stable, which is really good for us. Here are some examples of compound exercises, such as squats, deadlifts, shoulder press, lat pulldowns, and landmine rotation. You can also adapt exercises to yourself as obese. For example, Instead of doing lunges, which is a big no-no, right? You can do single leg exercises in machines such as the leg curl or the leg press. By doing that, you're still exercising one leg at a time, but in the machine you can choose and control the weight that you put on your leg as you train. Instead of doing crunches on the floor, you can do crunches or sit-ups on a bench. So you're not on the floor anymore. With push-ups, instead of putting all of your body weight on yourself while doing push-ups on the floor, you can do them against a wall. That way it's less weight because you're leaning at an angle and you're not on the floor anymore. Instead of doing pull-ups, we can do lat pull-downs, as I showed you before. That exercise emulates pull-ups. It's not exactly the same, but it does train a lot of the similar muscles, and it's a good place to start. Machines at the gym allow you to control how much weight you put on, which of course reduces risk while training. Some machines also control the trajectory, the movement that you do in the exercise, which are also great, but realize that these machines are isolated exercises, so they only train one muscle group. While other machines, pretty much all of the cable machines, are more compound exercises or allow you to do them because they don't set the trajectory, the movement. You have to balance yourself out while doing the exercises and thus train more muscles at the same time. Let's talk cardio. Now, we don't want to run as obese people because we don't want to be airborne and have that jumping motion. But walking is a great cardio exercise. And if you think that you won't get exhausted, trust me, as an obese person, walking while carrying all this extra weight is a great cardio exercise. There are machines such as bikes or ellipticals where there are pedals that are making a rounded motion and you don't actually lift your feet off the pedals while you do them. This saves your joints, your ankles a lot while doing these exercises, and they allow you to push yourself if you want to more when it comes to cardio. They're actually really great. I recommend that you don't over-rely on cardio exercises, because if you over-rely on them, if you train a lot of cardio for a long time, you will send a signal to your body that it should slow down your metabolism, which is how fast you burn calories. I would add some strength training in there just to be sure. If you really like cardio, still do some strength training. And I do mostly strength training and just a little bit of cardio once in a while. When you look at these exercises, cardio exercises versus strength building, cardio actually burns more calories while you do the exercise. However, by building muscle, doing strength training, you increase the speed of your metabolism and burn more calories, even while you sleep. So at any time during the day, you will burn more calories when you do strength training and you build muscle. There's one exercise which is the silver bullet of exercise for obese people, which is really any exercise in the water, such as swimming or using these little floaty dumbbells to do any sort of strength building exercise. Being in the water feels really good, especially for obese people, because we feel lighter. There's also less pressure on all of our joints, and it's just more fun. So you end up doing more of the exercise while you're in there. And as I mentioned, both cardio and strength building work great in the water. So if you can get comfortable, if you find a place where you're comfortable to get into a swimsuit, get into the water and do some exercise, you will really get the bang for your buck. Else, I'd say head to the gym, because if I can do it, you can too. Thank you.